Hey guys, it's Penguin here, and welcome back to another gold making video. In today's video, I will be showing you all of my favorite and what I believe are the best gold making add-ons for The War Within. This is going to be a complete list of exactly what add-ons that I use that are related to gold making, as well as some of my UI add-ons that I use for the current expansion. One of the most common questions I get, whether it's on Discord, YouTube, or Twitch, involve add-ons, and so hopefully we'll answer all of those questions today. As always, do keep in mind that there are a ton of add-ons out there, and because I am a crafter, generally most of these add-ons will be crafting profession related, but I do have a few add-ons that probably everybody can benefit from, even if you don't make gold. I've sorted all of these add-ons into different categories, and their categories and timestamps will be in the description, so feel free to skip around if you're looking for a specific add-on. But without further ado, we're gonna get started, and I hope you enjoy. Now, up first, before we get into the more complex gold making add-ons, I first want to talk about just some small quality of life add-ons that I highly recommend picking up. And the first add-on that I want to talk about is called Buy 'em All. This is a very simple vendor add-on that is extremely useful if you're ever buying vendor items in bulk. Particularly, I use this especially whenever I'm doing any sort of disenchant shuffling, because generally I am buying thread to make cuffs, and instead of having to buy one stack at a time, this add-on allows me to buy exactly however much I want. If I shift-click Moss Wool right here, I have the option to either buy by a stack, so I can click this right here and I can do 1,000, maybe I want 5,000 right here. I know it's exactly going to cost me 300 gold, I can hit OK, and it will buy exactly everything I need. Let's say I want to buy a whole inventory worth just to store it later, I can simply just click here, hit max, it shows me exactly how much I can buy with my available inventory space. It's going to cost me 4.5 thousand gold, I can hit OK and it will fill my inventory. This is super simple. Yes, some other add-ons do this as well, but it still uses the default UI, very simple, and I highly recommend it. Up next, a slightly more niche add-on that not really everybody is going to want, but if you are a TSM user or a macro creator, what I highly recommend is a simple add-on called ID Tip. It does exactly what it sounds like. If you hover over an item at the top, you'll see that item ID, icon ID, and expansion ID, and that is just this add-on giving you an item ID of whatever you're hovering over. Like I said, this really isn't going to be useful for probably a mass group of people, but if you're making custom TSM price strings, which require the item ID instead of having to go to Wowhead or an external site, you can get it in-game, or if you're trying to make a macro with a certain ID, etc., you can just get that information in-game instead of having to go to Wowhead or something like that. It might save you a little bit of time. Like I said, it's not going to be for everybody, but if you find yourself looking for IDs often, I highly recommend this simple add-on. Then up next, we have a particular favorite of mine, and this is called Faster Loot, and it does exactly what it sounds like. Now, of course, there are a ton of add-ons out there, especially bigger add-ons that have faster loot as an option, but I like the standalone add-on because it does exactly what it says, and of course this is good for farmers, gatherers, etc., but even if you're a crafter and you're doing something like disenchant shuffling, this still helps you out a lot. Disenchant shuffling requires you to disenchant an item, and you technically loot the items that you get from disenchanting a specific gear piece. So it actually speeds up that time of getting whatever materials you get from disenchanting, which ultimately speeds up your disenchanting altogether. So if you're looking to cut some time away from your disenchanting and you don't already have a faster loot add-on, I highly recommend picking one up. Then lastly, the final add-on of this category is actually two of them that I've kind of sandwiched together, and this is Blizzmove as well as Demodal. One of the most common questions that I get in my YouTube videos is how I have the auction house as well as my crafting menu up at the same time, and these two add-ons allow me to do so. So right here, if I have the auction house up right here, I can open up my tailoring window and I can move these both around however I'd like. Technically, I could also have my character window open, I could have my talents open, and as you can see, it just allows me to put these wherever I'd like and have really as much as I want open at once. Additionally, a pretty cool feature is that you can actually shrink and increase size of your screen. All you have to do is hold Control and then just use your scroll wheel. So if we wanted to make this auction house bigger, I can hold Control, move my scroll wheel, and there we go. We can size this up, and then of course we can also size it down. So if you're trying to fit certain screens on your same screen at once, you can simply resize them into exactly how you like and move them all around, and it stays in this position as well. So you don't have to worry about moving them all around every single time you log in, etc. But yeah, that's about it for my small quality of life add-ons, and this next category are technically not gold making add-ons, but they are still very useful for gold making. Up first, what I highly recommend picking up is called By the Way Quest. Technically, it is BTW Quest, and this is simply just a quest logging add-on. If we go right here, you have the ability to either sort by character or you can sort by your warband, and it tells you exactly what campaign and side quest you've done in each zone. You'll see that for my warband, I've done all of the campaign and I've done all of the Ringing Deeps quest, but if we go to something like Isle of the Dorn, you can see that I'm still missing this one, a Star of Dorn quest right here. Everything else is done, and if we wanted to see what exactly I had to do for this quest line, I can click on it and it says, hey, you need to get your renown higher, and then you'll do this quest line, and then finally at renown 21, you'll also do this. Now, like I said, this technically isn't a gold making add-on, but it's on this list because you can actually get knowledge points through renown, and this is a great way to make sure you're doing all of your side quests to have as much renown as possible. If you do all the side quests, you can get to renown around 8 or 9 with each single faction, which is pretty good because you need to get to about either 12 or 14 for your knowledge point books. So for example, if we take a look at my renown, as you can see, I've fallen a lot behind on Hollowfall, and if we take a look, as you can see, I have a ton of side quests to do. So I can get started by either, I already have these 2 quests right here, so I can finish that out and get started, or let's say if I was interested in completing this weight of duty, I can click on it, click this right here, and it will put me a waypoint on my map showing me exactly where I need to go. So I highly recommend this add-on, especially if you're somebody who's trying to make sure you have all of your side quests completed. Up next, we have another non-gold making add-on called Quartz. Technically, this is just a updated casting bar add-on, so some people might use this if they're a raider, Mythic Plus player, PvPer, etc. But the thing that makes this unique is that it actually shows you your casting time, which of course might be useful when you're, casting spells and all of that, but it's extremely useful if you're mass crafting. For example, let's say I wanted to craft all 170 of these bolts. Generally, I would have to kind of guesstimate how long this is going to take, walk away from my computer, come back maybe 15 minutes later, and hope that they're all done crafting. But with this add-on, I can start creating all of these, and it tells me exactly how long it's going to take, which in this case, it is 4 minutes. Now keep in mind that my crafting speed is only 30%, so if I do update this to now 60, and we go ahead and hit craft all, as you can see now the wait time is only 2 minutes and 12 seconds. So this allows me, especially if you're crafting in bulk, this allows me to know exactly how much time this is going to take, so I can walk away from my computer, come back, and be good to go. This is something small, it's not necessarily required, but it can be very, very handy in your large crafting sessions. Then the final add-on of this category is weak auras. Now, weak auras is a huge add-on, especially if you're a long-term WoW player. You've probably used weak auras before, but the reason why I bring it up is for the weak aura that you see right now in the top left-hand corner. This is Muse Weak Aura. He is a Discord member and he let us know that he created this for this expansion, and I will leave it in the description down below, but this is a very, very amazing knowledge point tracker. As you can see, right now I am on my Tailor Enchanter, and so I can see exactly what my skill is. I currently have 100 out of 100 Tailoring and 105 out of 105 Enchanting, and it tells me exactly where I can get my knowledge points. In this case, I still have 2 different knowledge point books that I can buy for Artisan Acuity, so these right here, these research is what that's alluding to. Then it says that I can get 2 more knowledge points from collecting treasures. These right here, if you click on it, it gives you more information. So it says, hey, these can be found around treasures. Then because as recording, this is actually the Dark Moon Fair is up. So I can say, hey, you can go complete this putting trash to good use. This is going to give me +3 knowledge points. It's located on the Dark Moon Isle. Then lastly, you can see right here, these are all of the catch-up points that I can also get for enchanting. And it says, hey, you need to complete your weeklies, you need to complete your disenchants, and your treasure drops in order to actually get these drops. But you can see these right here. It tells you exactly what color means what, and this add-on is just super nice for tracking your knowledge points. If you want to take a look at tailoring, this is updated as well. I also have these acuity books right here. I only have 40 out of 400 that I need, so I won't be able to buy this right now. I have 1 more weekly drop that I can get from treasures. I also have that Dark Moon quest, and I also have 21 catch-up points that I can get from patron orders. Now that's going to take a while to get, but it's just saying, hey, this is the possibility, so keep checking back on your patron orders to do as much knowledge points as you can. So yeah, like I said, I definitely recommend this specific week aura. I'll have it linked in the description down below, but there's really a week aura for everything. Especially going back to Renown, which we talked about earlier, there's a ton of different rare trackers, so you can track which rares you've killed this week, which drop Renown. There's treasure trackers. You can of course use weak auras for rating, Mythic Plus, etc. So there's so much you can do with this add-on, but specifically for gold making, I highly recommend keeping track of knowledge points. Up next, the third group of add-ons that I want to talk about are for crafting orders. And these are 2 quick add-ons that I highly recommend, and they've actually been around for quite a while. If we go to a tailoring workbench right here, we go over to crafting orders and we take a look at patron orders. This right here is an add-on called No Mats, No Make. This add-on was originally created in Dragonflight, however, it's been reworked to work with the new patron order system, and what this immediately does is shows you exactly what you need to complete each patron order and what they actually give. So, for example, if we take a look at this crafting order right here, we know immediately that I'm going to get 30 acuity out of it, as well as one of these stacks of reviews, and I am expected to contribute 2 Weaver Cloth bolts. I might know that I have Weaver Cloth bolts in my inventory, so I can say perfect, I can click on this, hit start order, craft it, and then I am good to go. Then you may notice all of these red outlines right here, and that is basically saying, hey, you do not have the ability to craft this item. It might be because I don't have the specific recipe unlocked, like this. I don't have this cuff recipe, so of course I can't do this. Or it might be a scenario where they require some sort of embellishment or something and you don't have that embellishment ability unlocked. Whatever it is, you can't complete that craft, so it's going to let you know in red. This is just a super simple add-on that allows you to quickly see what patron orders give and also what patron orders you can easily complete and what you can't complete. Up next, the second add-on I want to talk about is called Profession Shopping List, and this is actually a pretty big add-on. The download for this add-on will of course be in the description down below, and I highly recommend checking out the add-on page to see truly how much this has to offer. But I quickly just want to highlight a few simple things that it does. For example, going back to these patron orders right here, let's say I want to complete this right here, but I don't have enough items to do so. Normally, what you would have to do is just remember, okay, I need 2 leyline residue, and then move on, go to the auction house, buy it, and come back. However, with this shopping list add-on, you can click track and it will start tracking that right here and tell you exactly what reagents you need. In this case, I already have a Weaver Cloth bolt, so that is checked off, but it's saying, hey, you need 2 residue. And then I can go back here and go here and say, okay, yes, I have everything for this. I can go back. Okay, I also have everything for this, but just in case you didn't, you could also track this right here, and it will just start creating a list of everything that you need to complete these orders. Once you have a list, what you can do is go to the auction house. In this case, I'm just going to open up my Bruto. And then this little coin right here, you can hit create a shopping list. Then if you go into shopping, assuming you have the add-on auctionator, you're going to see this profession shopping list right here. Then you can hit search and it's going to search for exactly what I need. In this case, I need 2 ley line residue, so ley line residue shows up. If I click on it, it automatically has 2 selected. I can hit buy, pick it up from the mailbox, and then I'm good to go. You'll see that this add-on is also tracking cooldowns, which can be very, very useful, and it just has a ton of different things. Also, if you open up a specializations page like this, it also is tracking how many perks you have unlocked, as well as how much knowledge you have. This is just kind of a fun add-on that allows you to track a bunch of things, and it's really, really useful for that patron order crafting. Now, of course, this add-on isn't completely necessary. Some add-ons also do the same sort of feature, but I really like kind of all of the extra fun things it has, so I do highly recommend checking this out if any sort of these perks interest you. Now, last but not least, the final category of add-ons that I have is everything to do with calculating profit and the auction house. Now, a lot of these add-ons will seem to overlap with each other, but I highly recommend getting all of these for each particular reason. Now, of course, these add-ons are pretty big, so please don't expect this video to be a full tutorial on each of them. If you do want more information, I do have dedicated tutorials for each of these add-ons, which I'll leave in the description down below. Up first, we have Auctionator as well as Craft Sim. Craft Sim is the big add-on that you see right here whenever I open up my crafting menu, and this is the best profit calculation add-on for current expansion items. Craft Sim is particularly great because not only does it just simply calculate profit, but it calculates your profit based on your resourcefulness, your multi-craft, concentration, skill, and all of that. So it's really just a massive, very, very complex calculator. For example, right here, as you guys can see, based on the current value of bolts, dust, etc., it is calculating that on average, I'm going to make 19 gold or 11% profit, and that's based on the fact that I have 20% multicraft, 13% resourcefulness, my skill is 270, etc. Additionally, this add-on does so much more than just calculating profit. Up here, you can, track your concentration and see exactly when your concentration will be full. Then you have the ability to track your cooldowns, so I know exactly when my crafts for all of my different cooldowns are full. Then you have the ability to look at specialization information, so I know exactly what specializations affect this particular craft. For example, right here, these exquisite weaver cloth bolts are affected by less is more, quality fabric, weaving and unraveling, extra threads, and the perfect loop. And you can see that I have these 3 maxed, but I don't have these other 2 unlocked. Then you have the ability to do a recipe scan, so you can scan all of your recipes and see what is most profitable. In this case, it would be my Dawn Weave bag in terms of average profit per craft. You have the ability to optimize reagents. You can see which gear is the best to use for which craft, and it is just really, really powerful. I have 2 dedicated tutorials for Craft Sim, and the reason why I bring up Auctionator is because I recommend using Auctionator as your price source for Craft Sim. If you open up Craft Sim's options, you see that you have a few different options for price sources, TSM, Auctionator, and these 2 others, and what I do highly recommend is Auctionator. What this allows you to do is if you go to the auction house and open up your auction house as well as your crafting menu, you have the ability with this search button. This search button comes from Auctionator and it allows you to scan for current prices. Then all of the items used for this craft will have its updated prices, which then Craft Sim will use to calculate profit. For example, right here, I likely have not scanned the auction house for this in a while, so what I can simply do is just hit search, it updates, and boom, there we go. Now I know with the current prices, my average profit is about 33%. I can go over to this lining, hit search again, and it will update just like that. So I highly recommend using Auctionator to make sure you have the most up-to-date prices. Now, Auctionator by itself is great. It has the ability to cancel scan items. You can also sell using Auctionator, and you also have the option to do a full scan, which will scan the whole entire auction house. So if you don't prefer to just search by item, you can also use that full scan, and Auctionator on its own is beautiful. But these two add-ons together are highly recommended for current content crafting. Up next, a fun add-on that I recommend is called Journalator. This name might sound familiar, and it's because it's made by the creator of Auctionator, and this is kind of Auctionator's version of keeping track of all of your sales. So for example, right here, we are just looking at the current character that I'm on in the past day, and you can see that I've picked up a few things from the auction house. I sold about 800 or so weaver cloth bolts. I also sold 4 dawn weave, and I've also purchased these items right here. And it tells me, hey, I had 80,000 gold incoming. I bought 28,000 gold worth of things, so for these calculated sales right here, I made 50k gold. And this is just really nice. You can of course do this on a massive scale, but it's fun to look around, see exactly what you're doing. It also tracks WoW tokens, it even tracks crafting orders, and it's just a fun, useful add-on. Up next, the second to last add-on that I highly recommend, especially if you're somebody who's interested in sniping for some good deals off the auction house. Point Blank Sniper is my recommended sniping add-on for the War Within. This add-on right here is also connected to Auctionator. It's made by the same guy, and you do need Auctionator to actually use this add-on. They do go together, and I do have a dedicated video which I'll leave in the description down below, but this right here is by far the best sniping add-on. You can use a bunch of different price sources. Once again, Trade Skill Master, kind of the other ones that CraftSim uses as well. You can create a dedicated shopping list, so in this case, if I wanted to just look at pets, I could, or you can make a dedicated materials list, and this will just alert you exactly when something is below your certain percentage. Especially with a lot of people baiting on the auction house right now, if you want to try to take advantage of those baits, this is the add-on to do so. Then last but not least, we have Trade Skill Master. Despite all of the changes with how current content crafting and professions work, Trade Skill Master is by far a necessary gold making add-on. Even if you're somebody who believes Trade Skill Master is too complicated, you don't like its restocking features, you don't like to use it on the auction house, just the tooltip information that you get by itself is invaluable. There is so much information that you get from seeing what items you have on what characters, as well as tracking the average buy price of everything you've ever bought. Also, the ability to look at market values, recent values, region sale rates, region daily sold. All of that information comes from this add-on. And especially if you're somebody who likes sale rates or wants to see how many items sell on average each day, that information is only gathered through TSM. So this add-on is just super great, even just for tooltips. Now, of course, I have a whole dedicated series to TSM. There is so much more. Its mailing features is amazing, especially if you're disenchant shuffling. There is so much involved, but by far, this is the best add-on for tooltips, as well as any old world gold making. I know this is a War Within video, but if you are somebody who does old world gold making, anything from Dragonflight all the way to vanilla, by far, this is the best add-on. So if you guys haven't already, I highly recommend taking the time to learn it. TSM is really the best, like I said, for everything old world. Then you can use CraftSim for current content, and you will be a gold making machine. Hey everybody, while this is technically not an in-game feature, TSM has partnered with me in today's video to talk about their brand new website. If you guys are a long-term user of TSM, you probably never really think about going to their website. In the past, it's really just been a place to kind of change your account settings, but they've completely redone their entire website over the past few months. The best thing about this is not only is the TSM website a place to change your settings, but it's actually very useful for some market research. All users right now can go over to their website, paid or free, look up an item, and you can see some historical price data on that item, so you can see what's been happening over the past few days or week. Additionally, as always, TSM does have some paid tiers. If you decide to join the gold tier, not only do you get some more historical data, but you can actually get email alerts whenever an item goes under a certain price, or you can look to see what item shows up on the black market auction house. Additionally, if you decide to take it one step further, not only are you just supporting the devs and all of that, but you get some more advanced ledger data. You can also get Discord alerts. I use this to have fun with tracking the Bruto. Also, it's alerted me whenever Duskweave goes under a certain price, and just some more information. Either way, whether you're a paid or free member, I highly recommend just giving the website a shot, seeing if that's something that you can improve your gold making with, and if you are somebody who's interested in the paid tiers, I'll leave my affiliate link down below. It does give you a 15% discount, so that does help you out, and of course, I get a little bit of a kickback as well. But speaking on a non-sponsored level, I've been using TSM ever since Legion, so for many, many years, the devs have been always so responsive to feedback and all of that, and I personally have been a premium member ever since 2021. Of course, you know your situation best, you know if these can help you out, but I do just want to let you guys know on these new TSM changes. Everybody, thank you so much, and let's get back to the video. But yeah guys, that's about it for this video. I know this video is quite long, but I really wanted to talk about each add-on that I use, and hopefully this will give you a few ideas on which add-ons you can pick up to help improve your gold making. Even if it's just saving you a few seconds every time you disenchant, there are a ton of add-ons out there, so I'm sure I missed a few. If you guys have any more recommendations for others, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. I'm sure others will be grateful for it. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below as well, and as always everybody, have a good day.